All right, welcome to another episode, I believe episode number 26 of the still unnamed Wild Bill podcast. This is Wild Bill reporting from Sherman Oaks, California, sitting at my desk, reporting on the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago Bears shortly thereafter. Let's get right into it. I don't have much time. I have a lot to say. Not so much about the Cubs, more so about the Bears, being that this was week one. That team showed us a lot of who they are. So let's get into the Chicago Cubs first. Let me pull my notes over to the big screen here. Not a great week. 1-2 against both the Pittsburgh Pirates and the New York Yankees. Shut out in 3 of those games, so obviously not going to beat any teams, not scoring any runs. So that's the level of concern has reached an all-time high with the offense, going from like a historical 10-game stretch to getting shut out at half the games this week. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. As we're sitting 5 games back again with the Braves in the wild card, I believe the Mets have tied. So there's a lot of teams between us and getting into the playoffs. I'm not really sure if we're going to be able to overcome that. It'll really be crucial seeing how they play these upcoming series. Let's touch on something good real quick. The one game that they salvaged against Pittsburgh was a combined no-hitter between Shota Imanaga, Nate Pearson, and Porter Hodge. So Shota went 7 strong, gave up no hits, looking like he's supposed to, as advertised. Shota is, as it stands, our ace. Justin Steele, a very close second. You can't really ask for much more out of somebody in their first season, adjusting to the major leagues, knowing that they will be somebody that you can rely on for years, hoping for at least, Shota's probably, 28? For another, 7-8 years, that'd be great to know that Shota Imanaga's in your rotation. So, great accomplishment. I think one of the first, the first no-hitter thrown by a Cubs pitcher at Wrigley since the 70s, which is crazy. Thinking back, we've seen a few in the past handful of years. I remember Carlos Zambrano threw one in Milwaukee against Houston, which was a weird hurricane case. Arrieta in Cincinnati and against the Dodgers in LA. Alec Mills threw one against, I believe it was Milwaukee at Miller Park at the time. So to see it in front of the home crowd was pretty cool. That's the only game the offense really showed up for. 12 runs, so nice to at least not get swept by somebody that you swept less than a week ago. And then the Yankees coming to town. First time that Anthony Rizzo's come back since the infamous day where everybody got traded in 2021. Super cool to see him get 3 standing ovations in 3 straight days. He had all those cancer patients out for a game. I believe it was the first game. So cool to see somebody who, me personally, I attended his Cubs debut completely on accident. Just happened to be a day that I went to the ballpark. Sat behind the camera that's right behind home plate on the top deck and saw him get his first hit, first RBI. First time I went to go see the Cubs at Wrigley where they won. Great memory. And then in 2021, I went to a few games before he got traded. I was able to see his and Chris Bryant's final home run as a Cub. So that guy means a lot, obviously, to the organization, to me as a fan. Cool to see him get the warm reception that he definitely deserves. That guy should have been a Cub for life. Shame that it didn't work out that way. Seems like he's doing pretty well out in New York. Got to give props to Jameson Taillon. Obviously, he's spoken about every single time we go against the Yankees, or whenever they're brought up. That is his former team. He seems to pitch his best against them. I think it was last year he had that great start around the middle of the season when we visited Yankee Stadium, and he's been pretty good ever since. So whatever it is that the Yankees do to him, I say we just continue on. Get that in the bottle, give it to all the other pitchers. Maybe the hitters too. And mad props to Zach Paredes, got to Garrett Cole. I believe he drove in both the runs that ended up being the winning runs. 2-1 in that final game. Pretty cool. Those were the only 2 runs that were scored against the New York Yankees. So I think that speaks a lot to who the Cubs are. It's getting a little late to be having bad weeks like this. It's really been a bad season like that. So nothing that's really surprising. It's just super disappointing after not finding like a middle level to kind of land on after the previous week's ultimate success. So, like I said earlier, 5 back on the wild card. We're still 9 games behind in the division. I think that's out of the question at this point. Got a big series against the Dodgers. We're going to have to at least win 2 out of 3 to really have any sort of chance, to really make it look like we stand a chance, to make it look like we belong in the playoffs. Which, do we? I don't really think so. It's sad to say, especially this being the first season that I'm, doing this podcast and riding the wave, riding the roller coaster that has been this season. And it's not been a very fun roller coaster, so, we'll see. Like I said, we got that big series in LA. I'll be attending the 3rd game, hopefully in line for a sweep. Would be nice. You do have the omnipresent threat of Shohei Ohtani amongst all the other multi-million-dollar men, Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. Obviously, somebody that you always have to game plan around. I got nothing to say. I'm at a point where just whatever happens, happens. Would be cool to see Shohei if we are going to lose. I want it to be Shohei hitting home runs and stealing bases off of us, because he is the only player in MLB history to have 46 home runs, 46 steals in a season. We are witnessing greatness. We're witnessing something that's never been done before. I think he's going to win MVP without ever playing defense or throwing in a season. That's something special. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that, because it will be back and he will be throwing this upcoming season. Just a quick touch on the White Sox, 33 and 111. I say we go for history here. Why not? Might as well. So that's all I really got about the Cubs this week. So we had the NFL kicking off. Had a bunch of pretty good games, some not so good games. I think we kind of confirmed what we already felt about certain teams. Like the Panthers suck, the Giants suck. The Packers suck. Eagles always beat them, which is nice to see. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and the Ravens are going to be the number 2 in that AFC unless they make adjustments and are able to, see them again later in the season. You never know what's going to happen. Super good game. Crazy that it came down to the toe being on the line for Isaiah Likely. Had a great game. Mark Money Andrews is going to have to show up a little more for the Ravens. As a previous fantasy owner of that guy, I'm a big fan. I'll just touch up on the rest of the NFL before I get into the Bears. CeeDee Lamb signed a contract before playing for the Cowboys, and so did Dak. They're both going to have a good season again, I think. The Cleveland Browns are in trouble because Deshaun Watson is not very good. No, obviously super highly touted for his football skill and football skill only. Coming from the Houston Texans, crazy trade. Insane trade to give away 3 first-rounders and to have all that guaranteed money owed to him. I don't know what you really do for Cleveland. I think the best you can do is start Jameis and just eat that money and eat the dubs. You can do both. Raiders not that great either. They did lose against Jim Harbaugh's L.A. Chargers, even though that stadium was about 80% Raider fans down here in L.A., in Inglewood. Gardner Minshew looks nice. Not really sure how that team is going to do this season. Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback, didn't win. Bo Nix, rookie quarterback, did not win. Steelers with Justin Fields win their first game as underdogs on the road. Kirk Cousins looking old. Not sure how that season is going to turn out also. The New England Patriots, that's probably the one that took me the most by surprise. They were able to squeeze out a win against the Cincinnati Bengals. Gerard Mayo off to a hot start, replacing Bill Belichick as the longtime head coach for the New England Patriots. I'm pretty happy with those guys. Can't be upset. This is the first time probably in my waking life I've been okay with the New England Patriots winning a game. I've got a vested interest in that team because I do own Ramondre Stevenson on my fantasy team. He had a good game, 120 yards and a touchdown, a few catches. That's going to do me well this upcoming season because I had a pretty bad week, pretty tough week. Had Drake London, who didn't do much. That one killed me. Travis Kelce didn't do much. Don't have to get into my fantasy team, but that's all I got for all the other games. We got the Jets and the 49ers going on later today. We can move on to the Bears. We did win the game. First time the first overall quarterback has won his first start since 2002, and it really wasn't because of Caleb Williams. I mean, he looked like a rookie out there. He was missing some wide open throws, either left to right, a lot of overthrows. The fact that he didn't have an interception was pretty lucky, in my opinion. He seemed pretty out of sync. The only person he really wanted to target was Keenan and DJ. I was very surprised to see the underutilization of Cole Kmet. Gerald Everett wasn't anywhere to be seen. Rome wasn't really that much of a factor either. But thankfully the defense and the special teams, obviously with the punt block return for a touchdown, scoop and score from Jonathan Owens, who has been in the headline for a little while now, obviously because of his marriage. His wife, Simone Biles, #1 Bears fan besides me. The pick six from Tyreek Stevenson, which was one of the wildest decisions that a quarterback can make. You're already falling. You don't know where you're, like, what you're looking at. You just chuck it up. That's such a stupid decision to make. And that Bears defense is good. That secondary is great. You know they're not going to let you get away with any little mistakes like that. You know what I mean? So the Titans did have us in the first half. They did put together a few touchdown drives. There was that muffed punt by Velus Jones, which was not cute. I know he's already kind of on his last leg on the Bears roster. That's not going to bode well for him, I don't think. So we'll see if any roster moves are made, if they bring on Tyler Scott. He was a healthy scratch today, but we'll see if he plays. Is able to get out there and be a bigger contributor on the offense. I know Velus Jones is a contributor in the other special teams. Punt coverage, that kind of thing. So shout out to the defense also. Darrell Taylor being a last-minute addition to the team, trading for a 6th-rounder from Seattle. 2 sacks and a forced fumble, which put the Bears in position to kick the field goal. It's good to see. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to win a whole lot of games playing like that. Hopefully Caleb is settled in. He knows what the NFL game looks like compared to what he saw at USC in Oklahoma. He had that terrible sack that he lost 19 yards on. I think that may not have been like the big hit that is the welcome to the NFL moment, but he definitely now is a little more aware of what he's able to get away with, what he can rely on his natural talents with. Yeah, this is probably part of those growing pains that everybody always talks about with rookie quarterbacks. And not being able to sit behind anyone or learn from, an established veteran, which the Bears have never had, clearly. That would be something that would be nice, but obviously not having that luxury is going to be tough for these, hoping for maybe just the first half of the season. But we'll see. So, have not lost faith on Caleb Williams. I have not lost perspective, knowing that he is a rookie, and he is going to do rookie things, and that's totally fine. It's better than what we had before, and good to see the team rally around for a great win. Got the Houston Texans coming up on Sunday Night Football down in Houston. It's going to be a big test. Probably one of the better tests this team is going to have in the first half of the season. So I'm excited for that Sunday night coverage. And bear down. Bears. That's all I got this week. I'll report back from the Dodger game that I go to, and then the Cubs have a series. Didn't even bother to check who, but I know they have some cupcakes coming up. So hoping they're able to capitalize on that. Not sure if we're gonna make the offs, but hoping for the best. Go Cubbies. It's over.